For years, I have delivered hundreds of thousands of hours in free content, the widely sought out spreadsheet on which I list links to information resources and application portals, to grants for everyone and all kinds of money-making resources, business resources, the free education tab, where I list links to training courses through which you can develop yourself into becoming anything you want to be. I have not charged you a dime. Nonetheless, I have always had the idea to transform this channel into a multi-million-dollar business. Less so for the fact of hoarding the hundreds of millions of dollars to which I'd like to get it, but to deploy it towards servicing you, yes, you, my beloved viewers, to become multi-millionaires and be able to build your generational wealth and leave a legacy as abundantly as you want it for your loved ones and all the people that our true and living Father has assigned for you to serve. Because at the end of the day, the money, the material, the house, the cars, everything, it's all burning. Hundreds of years from now, doesn't matter whether you wanted to become an entrepreneur or work slavery-ridden 9-to-5, as you have talked about. No offense to people who work a 9-to-5. You got to work a 9-to-5. Listen, again, point being, hundreds of years from now, who cares? Even if you decided to sit on a lawn chair on the side of a road, hold up a sign, it doesn't matter. While I drove by it, it doesn't matter. Live your life as you choose to live it. But live it. Just go ahead and own your decisions and do what you must. I overthought the idea of turning this into a business. And I even started training with a person who partnered with Mr. Beast. He's the top YouTuber on this platform. And he told me, listen, if you want to turn this into a media business where the organization can be funded through sponsorships and advertising, and I do not have to charge any of the viewers a dime. In other words, I sell your attention. You become essentially my inventory. It's not going to happen. Start a whole new channel. So I was like, I don't feel like giving up on a channel. I feel that my purpose is to serve. I mean, through the channel, I tighten relationships with the upper echelons of government, the Small Business Administration staff that gave us exclusive information that we shared that helped many of you get funded. If you have been watching me for some time, through the Paycheck Protection Program, we funded $3 million alone. Through that spreadsheet, America's entrepreneurs have raised tens of millions of dollars. You've seen the testimonials and everybody showing how they've been able to raise 10,000 here, 40,000 there, 120,000 from the federal government, yada, yada. And again, 3 million from PPP. Nonetheless, I was like, all right, so if it's not going to become a media company, then he said, you should start selling products and services. So I was like, all right, cool. Again, threw it in the back of my head. Didn't think much of it. I knew how to build a digital product, but I knew that it would take some time, so I lollygagged on it. In other words, overthought it. And until August of 2023, which is probably maybe a couple of months after I spoke to him or a year after, I was like, I joined this challenge, and the gentleman with whom I trained had me write an ebook in 5 days' time. So if you quantify all the hours that I put into writing the ebook, it's probably about 14 hours, dropped it on the channel, made about $7,000 in selling it during October and the Black Friday sale. And I don't think I sold it in December, perhaps. And I also sold the workshop. So made about $7,000 off of 14 hours work on the digital product in all. And I was just thinking, if I would have dropped this ebook earlier in the way that I did it, I followed his framework, of course. I already knew how to do it, but if I would just been like, yo, just use the information that you've got and move forward, I would have potentially made hundreds of thousands at the very least to millions of dollars off the ebook, and I would have had that capital to better serve you so you can meet your financial objectives and obtain the outcomes that you want. So that's a consequence of overthinking, which is a roadblock that I see many people on the channel are facing. In other words, analysis paralysis with the PPP. Yes, I raised $3 million. I could go ahead and run the receipt, show it to you on the screen. And I made $34,000 off of a week of work. But again, overthinking became the plague because I figured most people that come watch me, they want to see what the SBA classified as a grant, which is the economic injury disaster loan. I only paid attention to the view metric. I got the most views when I talked about economic injury disaster loans. So I was partnered with Womply. They funded Paycheck Protection Program loans, which ultimately became grants if you use the money in the way you're supposed to use the money. But I only shared it about 4 times, about a week worth of work. And that was $3 million. Imagine if I would have done that for 4 weeks' time, at the very least, a month. That's what, $12 million? If I would have shared it throughout the entire time that program was available, that would have potentially been $30 million that I would have funded through that program. I know people that made $1 million in commission. I only made $34,000 for a week worth of work. So again, just overthinking because I tried to foresee every single step. I said, it's not going to happen. And I was even surprised I got a 34 grand. They came to me months later, or I think I checked on them. They never got to me at all. So I was like, maybe I made something. Maybe I got like a $2,000, $3,000 check waiting for me somewhere. And I emailed them. Lo and behold, 34 grand. I was like, oh, 34 grand. All right, let me get that. Right? I'll take what I can. But then I was kicking myself because I was like, if I would have shared it more, if I wouldn't have let that self-limiting thought within me, assuming that I was not going to have enough of an audience to capitalize on that program, then I would have helped fund even more people, 30 million just off of that program alone. I helped fund tens of millions through the economic injury disaster loan, of course, and other programs. But that is the consequence of overthinking. That's why I tell you, you must make a decision. Let's say right now, you're deciding on working with me. I have told you about exploring that option by subscribing to our wait list. The link is in the video description below, plug. But if you want to work with someone else, go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you decide. The word decide comes from the Latin word. Linguists, feel free to comment on how much I butchered it. Decidere, if I'm not mistaken. And it means to cut off, basically. So you have to cut one or the other off. If it's me, it's okay. I know I can't help everyone. There are certain people that I'm assigned to serve, and I stay in my lane. If you decide that you are better suited to work with someone else, feel free to cut me off. But make the decision. Keep moving forward. If you have that option to work with someone who has made the mistakes and is a couple of steps ahead of you, go ahead and capitalize on it. Don't hoard your paper. It's not going to be with you. You can't take it with you. It's simply a tool. Follow what Matthew 25 reads. Multiply your talent. Be the good servant. God is an investor. And the more that you act accordingly, because you are made in his image, the more you will succeed on this planet. But the key thing, initially start with assumptions. I dropped a video yesterday where I showed you how to perform some research, and that'll give you some information on finding your ideal customer and identifying what that customer's problems are. Then just come up with your solutions. Bang, 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 bang. Just list them. Start calling those people. Start vlogging on the solutions to those problems on YouTube, on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever it is that you're comfortable communicating. You have the power of the word. That is what makes you the supreme being on this planet. Understand? There is no other creature on this planet that can do what you can do. You could turn lions into shish kebab if you want to. So watch that video, take a look, and start to list all the problems in your target market. Come up with those solutions. Communicate to those people as imperfectly as you can, because regardless of how perfect you think that you're going to formulate your path within this cranium right here, it's not going to happen. I make mistakes. I just cited multi-million-dollar mistakes potentially that I just told you about. I made on this channel. And you who have less experience in operating a business, potentially, who knows, many of you probably have clocked more than me. I've been doing it for 20 years. Worked with the Obama campaign, worked with Nielsen, helped them sell their publications. Only one division, 70 million. So, but who knows, right? You're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. There is no such thing as perfection. Bezos, Elon, they all make mistakes, but they decide based off the best information they have at their disposal right now, as fast as possible. They make the decision, they move forward, correct accordingly, and achieve every single outcome that you want. Go ahead and watch the video. You should see it linked on the screen. List out your solutions and get at it.